All right, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another installment of the BKC Roundtable Talk, man. Joined by some dope people as we were last time. Got my man Chris, I'm saying, the Memphis homie in here. We got Pinky, I'm saying, representing Virginia. My man Pop C, what's going on, bro? Uncle Vick from Detroit in the building.
Hey, East Side, Detroit.
Yeah, my main man, Big Skeet, man. A lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about. It's been a while since we all convened. Vick, this is your first time on the program, and he's the OG. He's the founder of BKC, Blank Canvas Creators, bro. So you weren't here last time, Vick. So you got to introduce yourself to everybody. Talk your shit real quick. You know what I'm saying? Before we get things jumped off.
Well, welcome everybody. First and foremost, I'm glad to be on my first roundtable talk. I am the founder of the group, but I feel like all of us are founders. I don't like to be singled out. I feel like we built this movement together, so I don't look at myself as the person. We all are the person of Blank Canvas Creators. So. What's the word, everybody? How's everybody doing on this nice Saturday evening? Is the weather, how's the weather in whatever part of the world y'all in?
Hot as hell in Chicago.
Man, it's hurricane season down here, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Shit is hell.
Is the rain hitting y'all bad down there?
Rain and wind. It's ridiculous. Man. And then it'll be hot and rain and hot and rain. That's
the humidity.
So that humidity, though, yeah.
That's nasty. And Chris, it's your first time on it low key too. The first time you popped in a little late. Talk your shit real quick, man. Tell me who you are, Chris.
Well, you know, it's the Memphis Maniac. Represent him all day, every day. Of course, y'all know I do music, I do production, I do art. I'm here for the creatives to help y'all, to educate y'all, to help put y'all in place. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm here to do, to help grow. Not only each other, but as a company. As a community. You know what I'm saying?
And we are a community, like you said, Chris, of creatives. And this is right now. We August 29th. Last night, the world was struck with some horrible news. A lot of us probably didn't get to process it last night. We probably woke up this morning and this shit washed over you real quick, and it's definitely a tough one to swallow. Like everything in 2020 has been. Chadwick Boseman passed away at 43 years old. A graduate of Howard University. He started as Jackie Robinson. He started as James Brown. He was T'Challa, Black Panther, a true Black hero. Everything he said on his speeches was always super impactful and important. And the message he spewed was purpose, know your purpose and fight for it. Something we all are here to do as creatives, and we build a new platform. So it would be super dope if we all just quickly share our thoughts on Chadwick Boseman. And also, we lost a NBA former star, Cliff Robinson from Portland Trail Blazers, someone who was dope as hell to watch as a shorty. So a lot of loss to start off this weekend, man. So
we need to take a moment of silence for that, man. Like that's
for sure.
Yeah, hats off and everything.
Yeah, rest in peace to Cliff Robinson and Chadwick Boseman, man. Like Cliff made the headband hot, dude. Like for me as a kid, like you gotta understand. Like I grew up in Detroit in the bad boy era, the original bad boy era. As a kid, I was like 7 or 8 when that happened. So I really started getting into basketball like 9 or 10, like Jordan era. So like when Jordan and Cliff used to like that was my introduction to basketball. So that was like a part of my childhood. Hurt today when I woke up and saw that.
Man, like especially after hearing about Chadwick, man, tough.
Man,
that one hit me hard.
What surprised me about Chadwick is how long he's been fighting cancer, and I had no idea. Like how many movies he recorded while going through that.
10 movies while
like that's crazy. Cancer. People go through chemo and everything and can't even get out of bed, and this man is a whole action star out here, bro. That's strength. Like there's no other way to say that.
If you recall, Breakfast Club did like a rumor. Angela Yee knows be doing her rumor reports and all that. She had a report like a few months ago of him. They was saying he looked kind of skinny and all that. People thought it was like for a role or something. And I thought to that moment as soon as I heard that last night, man.
Well, yeah, I thought of that too, because I remember what you're talking about, and I remember seeing the video. I don't know, it was a commercial, not Facebook, Instagram post, something. It was bringing awareness to something, and he was very, very thin, and it was alarming to everyone. But there was so many comments and hateful comments and speculation that he just deleted it.
Yeah.
But now we know.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Having been around that and gone through that with fam that's gone through that, man, just to know that, 10 movies in a 4-year span while he was going through that the whole time is just, it's amazing, man. And never say a word about it. And while he's going out to the hospitals, visiting people going through the same thing, just trying to be a light, bro. That's like, man, that's inspiration, if nothing else. That's just beautiful, and so very happy that he got a chance to see the impact that some of the work he did had for people, and how much love he was getting from it, and that he actually got to see and experience that before he passed. Man, that doesn't always happen that way. So if nothing else, I'm very happy that he got to see some of that light that he was bringing come back to him and get that love that he deserved.
Yeah, share his gift with the world. That's one of them things that always sit in a weird place for me. That's why I think I created Blank Canvas Creative, because I know a lot of people that have gifts and skills, and they just either don't use them or don't feel like appreciated by the planet, or they don't have the outlets or platforms to do so. So I'm like, I know it's people around the world like that, man. So I just wanted an area where people like that could come, and even if you're not, because everybody don't be chasing fortune and fame. Some people just want to share their gifts with the world, and I am grateful when I see people like that even though it sucks that they pass young, is like, I feel like, that person got to share his gift with the world, like, before he left. So, you got to find a silver lining in something, and especially this year.
Go ahead, Connor.
We all need to.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? Like, the fact that, like, he was going through all that stuff, like, really, and he was literally being a superhero.
Right.
But he, like, superhuman stuff that most of us probably couldn't do. And outside of that, like, he really died a superhero when you find out the full story and the full spectrum of it all. So it's a real sad situation, but I think his impact will definitely be felt throughout the entire globe for quite some time.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
We all need
to talk about
our health for sure, but especially the fellas. I know it's more of a hassle getting y'all to the doctors sometimes. Not every one of y'all, but sometimes. But especially with something like that, colon cancer, even just thinking of that colonoscopy or whatever that exam is, it's scary, but it's very necessary. So when you get to that age, do what you need to do and take care of yourself now.
Yeah, that's one of them things that sit with me. I just turned 38 a few weeks ago, and I'm like, because in the last year I've been doing that. Like, I've been and got my teeth and all my stuff taken care of there, because you can have bad health if you're not taking care of your mouth. Or so I'm living the last year and a half. I've been living in doctor's office, making sure that I'm getting looked at and all that. And I know I'm getting to that age where, hey, man, do what you got to do. Stick your fingers where you got to stick. I'm trying to be here.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Serious. I'm already sitting here feeling like I'm cheating the world because I don't use any of the gifts God has given me. And I'm sitting around like, dog, Black Panther just died and I can't do 7 pull-ups. Now, come on, I got to get it together.
Real. I just had his heart gave out, man. He only 48, bro. He like 9 years older than me, and I'm like, man, can't do it. It's time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. And it's important, especially for, like Audra said, like men, especially because we tend to like ignore our health for mental health and physical health. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get in the gym. My pops had prostate cancer. His pops had prostate cancer. I get myself checked. I turned 30 in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Colonoscopy. You know what I'm saying? That's, like, colon cancer is a horrible thing. And Skeet, you talked about your personal experience with that with your family, and it's fuck cancer. At the end of the day, like, fuck cancer.
Super fuck cancer.
Right, fuck cancer.
Super fuck cancer, man, on the real. And Audra, you talked about the like the speculation that came to Chadwick's doorstep when he lost a lot of weight, and that's a lot of things that celebrities go through, and it's hard to feel sympathy for that because you're a celebrity, you're rich, but they're people. And one thing that really got me like upset this week before the Chadwick Boseman death was to see how the media depicted NBA players as they protested or talked about protested after the Jacob Blake shooting. And like when you think about 2020, like from Kobe dying, the racial injustices and Chadwick now dying, it just constant blows like to the chest. And just imagine it being a celebrity or a person like a LeBron, a person like a George Hill to have responsibility bestowed you on top of that for the entire community. I just wish the media would have respect for that. You know, like it's not just as simple as they make it seem. Like to have NBA players come together and really congregate and think of a plot to move things. And I want to get you guys' opinion on the NBA protest as the NBA comes back this week after missing 3 days, I believe, or 2 days. What you guys' thoughts on finally seeing a boycott in professional sport in America about racial injustice?
I'll go first. I'll go first.
Memphis Maniac.
Made me proud, bro. So proud. Made me feel, you know, I've never seen anything so historic happen, like just off the whim in my lifetime. I'm only 30. You know,
yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. But I want to speak toward the media's portrayal to it. I feel like it was by design, really, to discredit it, to not give credit to the organization and the discipline that it took to do that, just to make it look like a bunch of spoiled, rich athletes pouting or whatever. Of course, they don't even want to talk about the underlying issue. They did the same thing with Kaepernick, so that's not a surprise to me there. But it's basically shut up and dribble all over again. And I'm so proud of these players for putting not only their jobs, but there's so many people that count on them. They risked so many lives just stepping off of their court because they could be blackballed. They could be, you know, cast out of advertising or whatever. But luckily, the NBA is a league that supports speaking out socially. So I don't think they have to worry about that as much. But they did take a risk. They did take chances. They did put money and livelihood on the line. So I can't do anything but salute them. And that's it for me.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that. We had discussed it inside conversations a little bit. And when it comes down to it, it's unfortunate, but it's about the money. It's all about the money. And whether it was just 1, 2, 3 days, hitting those pockets is what grabs the attention of these white executives, these white politicians. And it was the example I thought of was, look, I own this team. My buddy is Judge so-and-so or this politician. I'm not going to make a campaign donation to you because you're taking money out of my pocket by not changing these policies, by not changing these laws. My team can't play, so kiss that campaign donation goodbye. So I'm thinking, you know, they're on the right track, and that's just the way my mind works. I'm not saying that's how it's going to happen or how it did happen, but they're definitely, to me, laying a foundation, setting an example. Nothing will ever change overnight, ever. As bad as we want it to, we want that immediate change. This does set a precedent that hopefully other people will live up to and inspire them to do what they need to do to enact change. I know it's not the same, but I've had 2 days so far where I've just sent an email to my boss. I'm like, I'm not doing it today. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And they were supportive, but I mean, just making a statement like that could make the world of difference to a kid. You know, a kid doesn't know where they're going to fit in this large scheme or how they're going to help. But seeing something like that could help them in the future, or at least get them thinking, get them on the right track. These are the type of statements I need to make. This is a potential role I can play. So yeah, I support them as well.
And before I go, I'm gonna go to Vic next. I just want to read off the commitments the NBA and the NBA PA made to resume the NBA the playoffs. They made a commitment to establish social justice coalition featuring reps from players, coaches, and governors to convert team arenas into voting locations for the 2020 general election, and to create advertising spots in playoff games that promote civic engagement in local and national elections. Those are monumental for NBA players to pull that off, and it just shows the power. And people always say our celebrities aren't leaders. They have, like, LeBron James has more power than, unfortunately, Martin Luther King had, Muhammad Ali had. In them times, LeBron has money. He's a black man with money right now. He can do a lot. All these NBA players have money. They can force these white dudes to pay their money out and do something to keep them going. So I'm gonna pass off to Vic. It's a historic time, like Chris said earlier.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
I had to make sure because this one went and unplugged the Wi-Fi while I was talking. But another thing that I see, like I've seen on social media the last week or so, is people saying that I don't know why they playing sports in the first place and all that. Well, as a person who has been advocating for sports to come back, and I was a little salty when the protest started, I respect it. I understood it. I'm super proud to see what they're doing. And I say that if we don't have, if we didn't have sports right now, we wouldn't have sports to protest for them to be able to make a change. So, and I thought that's always been a part of, like, people who just don't want it to happen in general, that's always been a part of our history. Sports and entertainment has been a part of protest and all of that stuff since the beginning of time, since Caesar, and you know what I'm saying? Since those times, the people were using those type of venues to display the things that they protest for, the things they stand for. Look at the Olympics. Look at John Carlos and throwing up the black power fist in the Olympics, and
Jesse Owens,
Jim Brown, and Muhammad Ali, and all the stuff they was doing. You needed the sports to be active for them to be able to boycott them in the first place, so that they can make some effect to have some change.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. It's I'm glad that you brought that topic up. Going back as far as LeBron being biggest, bro. I don't know if y'all have gone back, and I know I have gone recently and watched a nice little video about going back to, I've known what Muhammad Ali did back in the day and what he went through, what he did. I don't think a lot of people do, man. Like, he's not great because of his boxing skills, man. What he up and what he fought for and what he did.
Yeah, man.
President, man. Like, nobody.
Him, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like, a lot of these people, like, it's understated how much they did for racial injustice and civil rights.
Jim Brown, throw Jim Brown's name in.
Jim Brown for sure.
I said that. Yeah, you gotta put the hammer in there.
Oh yeah, man.
And,
but today they did absolutely important. And for anyone who wants to say that shut up and play, fuck you, man. Like, seriously, that's the only right, proper response is they're men. Like, these are men and women out there first. Like, the WNBA is going out there hard gangster right now. If I don't know how in that, it's dope. Like, they going out there like super duper all in, and it's great to see. Sports is a distraction. Let's not get that twisted. Sports is what it is. It's entertainment. It's something that's meant to pacify people when you don't. And there's other shit in your life that's wrong, and it's like, oh, but look at this. Distract yourself with it, and that's exactly what it is. And it's a money-making venture for some people, but don't get it twisted. Like, it is what it is, and people are used. Athletes are used. Whatever life they get and the money they get, they've earned that. You have no idea the amount of time and effort they put in to get to a professional sport and get to that point. They've earned
their entire life,
and the revenue that they generate is much more than the money that they get paid. So don't knock them for that. Don't knock them for that, and don't tell them, no, you get to play a game, so you nah. They put in more time and effort than anyone out there trying to tell them to hush. They've put in more time and work than any of those assholes sitting there running their mouth. So dead that. Don't listen to them. They should be speaking up, and that's one of those golden handcuffs is something, man, because your money gets funny when people don't like what you're speaking about. But some things are bigger than that. And if you're in a spot, especially with some of them, they got that money like that where they're good for life, their kids are good for life, man, speak up, use that voice. That's important, man. As many rings you put up and whatever. And there's, like I said, there's foundational things that you can do, and there you can stand behind something that furthers things that are bigger than sport. It's bigger than entertainment, bigger than being any athlete. And like sports is a lotto dream. Our country is a lotto mentality. Like you might be lucky, you might have this chance to be the one and make it. And so many, like people bank their life on that. But man, it doesn't match out. It doesn't even out for the majority of people that don't ever get there or don't make it, or they get there and get hurt and then they thrown away and forgotten. And then, like, speak up, man. Use that voice, because it's bigger than just sport. It's bigger than the dollar sometimes. And man, impacting team, doing something for the future is always going to be bigger. So damn right, speak up.
And just to piggyback off that, man, like when you look at like Steven Jackson speaks out a lot, and he talks about how George Floyd was his twin. Like when he says that to me, it makes me remember, like, people need to realize it's a 1 in a million shot to go to the NBA. Steven Jackson could have easily been George Floyd, and that's what hits home for a lot of people. Like LeBron James could have been George Floyd. I could have been George Floyd. Any black person could have been George Floyd. It's just circumstance.
And they still can be.
Exactly. Like Sterling Brown, a dude from Maywood, my hometown, on the Milwaukee Bucks last year, parked in a handicapped spot at night in the Walgreens, and the police hemmed him up, tackled him. You know what I'm saying? Now he out here speaking up with George Hill about the Jacob Blake shooting. And thank God Jacob Blake lived. But like this is becoming way too, it's not even becoming, it's been just way too regular. Like we are too used to this. I hate being used to hearing about black people getting killed by police. Like, I'm really getting tired of it, and I think we're starting to see these celebrities getting tired of it, and that's starting to scare media. That's starting to scare these people with the money, and change is going to happen because they're getting scared of what could happen when rich black people use their black dollar to stop them from making money. I'm loving it, man.
Marshall, he just bought a multi-million-dollar home in Florida and trying to roll up to go to his new house that he just bought in his neighborhood, and they sweating him at the security gate being assholes. Like,
crazy.
Man's been on multiple teams, all over TV, all over everything, M's all over the place, and still you got like a video a couple of months back. Old boy off Walking Dead, the King, my boy with the dreads and the tiger and shit. He telling stories about, man, I thought I made it. I thought I was good. I'm on TV and everything. Nah, he get stopped and sweated like, whose car is this? Why are you?
The boy from SNL, Jay Farrow, was in LA, and he just put a knee in his neck. Like literally a week after George Floyd. Like a week later. Like it don't matter if you rich, it don't matter. If they see you in the wrong area looking like a different, like you shouldn't be here to their mind, it can happen. And it's important that these voices speak loud now. And what also want to talk about with this is this quote unquote, what's next? Media is asking it nonstop. They like, the protest is fine, but what's next? I'm like, and for me, it's befuddling, right? Because of course we got to talk about what's next. With the plot, with the plan, to organize, strategize, all that Killer Mike verbiage. But at the same time, it's like, why are y'all stressing what's next now? Like, why aren't y'all helping us with what's next 400 years ago? Like, why is the topic, like, why are you concerned now about what's next? Because we're stopping your money, maybe? Because we're stopping your gambling with the NBA? This is what it is? Like, that's why you worried about what's next? Like,
in a way, they sort of like taunting at the same time, too. It's like, y'all did your little protest, but now what's next? It's like, y'all not so critical when it comes to things on your end. Like, you're not so critical when it comes to President 45's playing with the wall. Y'all didn't ask him what was next, what was next.
He's still talking that shit, bro. You see the RNC? He's still talking that. crazy shit, bro. Like,
and it's like y'all not so critical with that, but when it's
nothing,
when it's us speaking up for us and it opposes what you believe in, then you want to dig at it and nitpick. And it's like it doesn't matter what's next. You'll find out what's next when we want you to find out what's next. You need to worry about what's now, and what's now is that we fed up with y'all bullshit. So change.
Period.
What's next? You'll see when it happens. You ain't supposed to talk about what's next, because then that's where it interrupts. Like,
exactly. That's giving the enemy a heads up.
We move silent. We move silent.
Right.
For next. Y'all worry about, you'll see. You'll know when you see.
Gil Scott-Heron said it best. The revolution will not be televised.
It's going to be live, sir. It's going to be live for sure. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen in the street.
For sure. And
that's scary. That's scary when you really think about it. Especially, I don't know. I think I'm the only. Am I the only parent on this?
Yeah,
I thought so. That's a scary thought when you think about it, especially when I see, like when I watch CNN or when I did go out there and just saw all of the youth, and I'm so proud of them. I'm super proud. Like, we always talk about the next generation when it's some fuck shit and when it's something negative going on. I'm proud of how they're handling all of this, but it scares me because it's like, yo, this is still going to be going on in 10 years when my kids are of that age. And that's scary.
Yeah.
And it might be going on in 20 years when my youngest is of that age, and that's scary.
And Vic, man, you from Detroit. So I'm gonna tell you this story real quick. My pops told me this yesterday. We was talking about Doc Rivers and how his house was burned down when he was a coach in Orlando Magic, and he was telling me, like, man, I remember back when Chicago Stadium and Isaiah Thomas came to Chicago Stadium. You know, Isaiah Thomas is from the West Side, and Chicago Stadium was in the West Side, and they didn't let him in the building. They didn't let him in. Like, Isaiah Thomas, the star of the Pistons, they did not believe he was who he said he was. And nobody got fired off that. Like, it wasn't nothing happened. It's just a slap on the wrist. And that's like, you talked about Brandon Marshall earlier. We talked about these different athletes and these different celebrities, and nothing has changed. It don't matter how much money you got. Nothing really matters besides the color of your skin to many people. And it's scary, man. It's really scary for us. But what makes it even more scary is they have the nerve to look at us and tell us they're scared of us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna tell me you scared of us? You a cop?
Right. So the whole point of you taking on your career is because you wanted to be a person to quote unquote protect communities, and in order to be a protector, you to some degree got to be fearless, and you afraid of the people that live in those communities, that pay the taxes, that pay your motherfucking salary. Are you serious?
Yep.
Yeah. I've been about that for a while, bro. Like, there's a lot that goes into that whole conversation, man, which we definitely should do one day. But the guidelines and the bars of entry have become so low for it, and it's not people that want to do help and do. You might have a little bit of that, but you also got a lot of people that have just insecure assholes that just ain't. That never got to be what they wanted to be, and now they got their little spot where they can have a position of power and have a little control over something that they didn't have before, and that's what it's all about. And it ain't about doing no good. It's about me and especially do what I say, not what I do, because we see what a lot of happens with what they do, but they don't want to answer to that, and it's always you answer your shit first. Like, no, man, you don't want to first. You answer first. You be the standard, like. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
We're talking about the system like it's broken, but this is the way it was designed to work.
Exactly. It's not broken.
It's not for us. It's not for us.
Yeah,
this is the way the system was built.
Like, their idea of protecting the community is removing us from it. Like, that's what it is. It's they started out as slave catchers. Like, that was what police started as. So that is still going on today, bro. It's not going to change because that's what they're supposed to do.
And to give you further,
the whole sports combo, it's, man, we gave you sports, be happy. We gave you sports.
Right.
We gave you
and
your,
to add,
we ain't hanging you.
Okay.
And to add, like, insult to injury, like, we protesting the murdering Jacob Blake. We're not murdering them, shooting Jacob Blake. and then they drive past this dude walk by with a rifle in his hand, shooting 3 people. The police are driving by. This dude is walking with a rifle around his neck. I'm saying police just driving by, but this black man just walking into his car with his kids in the back seat. You shoot him 7 times in the back.
And I just found out recently that he was a cadet to be a police officer.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure was.
He was an aspiring cop. His mom drove him there with the rifle. Like what?
Mama drove him there.
His mama drove him there.
Bring it to him. To him. And they like him and the family, you know where they come from, you know where that little boy come from and what's been in his whole life and got him all amped up. So yeah.
Goes to tell you that racism shit is taught.
I made my kids was on punishment so last week. So I'm like, they were grounded. And I'm like, my grounding ain't locking you in a room and just sitting you in a house. We were sitting down and I made them watch Roots last week, all 5 parts. And I really made them watch it. I mean, it was for a multitude of reasons, but I made them watch it because they, you know, they've updated it from the 70s version with dude from Star Trek.
LeVar Burton.
The more dated one is a lot more graphic. And I really wanted them just to see how the overseers became officers. I really wanted them to see, you know, how bad they were in rounding the slaves up and doing what they did to them so they could compare it to now. And I mean, yeah, like you said, the Constitution was written, like when I said I even thought about that when I said protecting the community they're protecting is their community. So it's like, and we alienated from all that. And now, I don't want to say that it's not a race thing because it is, but it's a mixture of elitism and racism. It's
Classism,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Racism is a tool of elitism, man, for sure.
That's what I was just going to say, because the 2 people, well, there was 3 people that the kid shot. I think his name's Kyle or whatever. They were all white. And the All Lives Matter crowd.
Kyle or Karen.
All Lives Matter suddenly you're silent.
Right.
Silent.
What do you mean? Like,
All Lives Matter crowd now.
Crickets.
Where they at?
Where's Blue Lives Matter? That's an aspiring cop.
Right.
Like, where Blue Lives Matter at?
Bro, he was throwing up.
Rest in peace to those 2 gentlemen who were murdered.
For sure.
They were out there on the behalf of the Black community.
And like,
it's a lot.
Yes, definitely. Rest in peace to those people. We need, man. You know, I'm just so over seeing people die, man. Like this year, and I don't even want to say like how we keep saying 2020 is. I want people to keep in mind and be more active and more proactive in taking care of themselves and most importantly, taking care of others, because we tend to forget that everybody is a me. Every single person is a me. So yeah, we got to look out for our best interest, but we have to be great to each other, man, because we talking about how bad 2020 is. Like 2019 wasn't fucked up. Like we lost Nipsey and all of that shit that led up into Juice WRLD and Kobe in 2020, 2021 around the corner. Like when the clock at the end of this year and 2021 come around, it's not gonna be like a woo, it's a relief. It's gonna be like, yo, what's next? What's around the corner? So we need to be more visual and have more foresight about what's coming and take care of each other in that process, because we can. The only way to be productive in this is to work together with that shit. Like any other way is counterproductive, and we ain't getting nowhere. And we gonna be in 2021 saying, "Ooh, look at 2021! Look at all the shit that we got coming." Like it's gonna be the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. And like we named off everything that happened bad in 2020 for real. We named off Kobe pass. We named off Chadwick Boseman. We named off racial injustices. We haven't even mentioned like the biggest part of 2020, which is the coronavirus. Like that, I'm saying like
the whole world.
I'm saying like there's an election happening in almost 2 months. Like it's like these things, like the world has been it's so much going on right now. It's definitely people got to really focus and sit down and really realize like, all right, this is all happening around me, but my life has not stopped yet. So we got to keep doing things. Like Vick said, man, it's very important to have that in mind because you can't get lost in all this bullshit that's going on.
There's all kind of madness going around here. Dudes is out here shooting women. All kind of craziness going on out here, man.
Shooting women.
Like it's wild out here.
The game is wild, man. It's a wild game right now.
Wild West. The Wild West.
There's big pictures things going on.
Western civilization at its finest.
Immortal Tech. If y'all ain't listening, Immortal Tech, the fourth branch is a little old school, little classic underground hip hop shit.
Classic.
Media is
Dancing with the Devil. Immortal Technique.
Fourth branch.
Oh, of course. Immortal Technique get down. I'm not as well versed in Immortal Technique though, but so I haven't heard that. I'm gonna check it out today though.
Good listening, but the media has a very specific purpose, man, and the same people that run it are the same people that are running all the other things that we have a problem with and are fighting against right now, and they very much use that tool to guide public thought and attention, focus, and everything. Don't want to be like with all this shit that's going on, as important as it is, like there's major things like the sitting president of our country had to go to another country to get bank loans because he couldn't get one in our country because he's dirty and they knew it. That's significant. There's international rings of trafficking and kidnapping and things going on that there's lots of distraction to keep there's enough bullshit going on. There's plenty to worry about always, but it's guided to keep our eyes on one thing while some other bigger things are going on that they don't want eyes on. So that's always something to watch and be careful for, man, because there's always bigger things going on.
Like saying about the system not being broken, this is the way it was supposed to work. Same thing with the media. I mean, we keep saying it, sick of seeing people dying, period. But it's not normal to continually see Black people die on camera over and over and over and over and over again. Yes, I'm glad that it's finally being filmed, but the fact that they keep showing us these videos every chance they get. You know, I noticed the other day that they finally stopped right before James Blake got shot. They finally cut that part off. But you've been showing it. You've been showing us him get popped in the back 7 times. So, yeah, it's working by design as well. That's what they're supposed to do. They want to desensitize us. They want us to normalize it, and it's not normal. And it's traumatic and it's triggering. And, you know, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but damn, like, y'all want us to burn the cities.
Yes, they do.
Y'all want us to.
Yeah. That's in the grand scheme of things, that's what they want us to do so they can have reason to call us animalistic and inflict whatever punishment on us if they can.
Yeah. I mean, like, I speak on this all the time on the podcast, man. Like, they really want to make Black people feel like we are criminally natured. Like, when you look at the stats, being 13% of the country, 40% of the prisons. You see how much more likely we are to die from the police. Like, you see all these things. It's written there to tell us that Black people are criminals by nature, but that's just, of course, fabrication. And I kind of want to get off the super depressing talk real quick, man.
Man, you was reading my mind right now. I swear to
God. Yeah. It's getting dark. It's getting really dark over here. Really dark over here.
Man.
To keep on the Skeet's media topic, man. Like, this group is very much so because of a big podcast that speaks and preaches creatives, and that podcast is making a huge move in the media world. As talking about the Joe Budden podcast, they're departing from Spotify in 6 more episodes, September 23rd. They'll probably be going independent again, I'm hoping. They said the video will be dropping the same day as audio. What'd you say?
I said good, so I can get rid of this.
Oh God, like I really hate Spotify. I can't lie to you.
Me too. Like I only wear it.
That's it. Only reason.
Same. I had title before that. I got rid of the title to get Spotify. I regret it every day.
I can't listen. Juice. Listen, bro. I had title up until because what Joe Budden's and it's been 2 years. So yeah. I had title the whole first year. I still had Spotify. That shit was eating my wallet up, and it hurt me to let go of title. But I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I still got title. I just used the free version of Spotify for the pod. Like that's the only reason I got that motherfucking app. As soon as they gone, it's deleted. Fuck them.
And only thing I hate about how it's being talked about his next move is it's always division, especially in there's division in black culture all around, but in hip hop, division just comes immediately.
It's here.
I think Vick, you tweeted this, bro. And I agree wholeheartedly. Like I fuck with Charlamagne, but he always sounds like a hater. He always finds a way.
Sometimes.
Hey, hold up, Vick. Before you go, I want to give the people a little backstory who aren't really familiar with what we're talking about. We're talking about the Joe Budden podcast leaving Spotify. And the reason why it's important is because that podcast is the reason many of us have that app to begin with. Not only us, but millions of people around the country.
Millions.
I mean, the world, not the country, the world. That podcast was #1 on their app by their metrics. Oh, shit. Somebody else finish this. I gotta take this.
It was #1 on their platform until like the last 2 months. Ironically, it was like number 17 apparently.
Right.
Very, very weird. Very weird, man. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think. What are you guys expecting from the Joe Budden podcast coming up? And also, like, what are your thoughts on some of the commentary that's following this announcement?
I'll let some of y'all go first. Who want to take that?
Go ahead, Connor, bro. You ain't talk that much, man.
Yeah, I know. You just sit and watch. I'm like the watcher. But no, the thing is like, even myself, like Spotify, like everybody can go there and get it for free or whatever. So, but a lot of people did go and spring for the premium just because that's where they had moved to. And a lot of the fans that roll with the Joe Budden podcast, like, we have a weird sense of loyalty to that podcast. Like, we're different than like people who watch a TV show. Like, we are loyal to it. So a lot of people did go and spring for Spotify Premium just off the strength of the promo code that was there at first. And then we were like, oh, well, we kind of like this, so why not? But the thing is moving forward, people need to be careful because after the Joe Rogan thing, you can tell that podcasting is going to get real watered down really quickly if people keep moving for the money and just keep moving for the bag. And people like Joe, they're at the forefront of making sure that that doesn't happen. But I think a lot of people, depending on what his next move is, it can go either way for the entire like genre of entertainment as a whole. Like, it feels like podcasting itself might be hinging on what Joe Budden's next move is.
Especially in hip hop. I feel like what Joe Budden does to podcast and hip hop is different than anybody else because a lot of their content is just on the fact that they friends and we fuck with them. Like that's like a big part of it. It's just their personas, like, it's outside of just their commentary, really. And it's interesting to see like someone like Charlamagne or someone like Peter Rosenberg, like kind of diss him, or Crystals from the Reed. Like, it's like we all in this culture together. Like, why knock this man? I know he talks about people, you know what I'm saying, but he don't ever be hating on y'all. Like, why is this like the move right here?
I want to hear Ruma's perspective. Pinky, how do you feel about it?
I was about to say we'll have to talk about this in the chat or something, but I still don't understand the beef between Joe and the Reed. I don't, like you said, Crystals. I don't remember what happened.
I think that goes back to Tax Stone. I think that's like a loudspeaker thing.
You know what?
Stone.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. But yeah,
Even though him and Tax pieced it up, I don't know why it's still lasting.
I don't like a lot of people's like Charlamagne, all them envy. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Everybody should be on the same page. And I know Joe's tone and rhetoric turns people off. I know that, you know. Sometimes I hit pause. I'm like, damn, chill out, you know. But
I like Joe. I love that.
You gotta look at the bigger picture. I mean,
yeah.
And he'll say Joe Budden, Joe, but he's really for the people. He's for the creators. He's for the creatives, and he's doing something. Like he said, podcasting is still a new game. He had to do this 2 years with Spotify to even get the information that he needs. Other people don't care about the information. They care about the bag, like Connor said. And I found the last two podcasts amazing. I thought they were dope because that's stuff that I don't know, and this is something I'm passionate about too. And I appreciate, whether mine pops off or not, I appreciate the work that he's putting in, not only for himself, but for his people. You know, he's not doing it just for him. He's doing it for Maul, Rory, Parks, Erickson, Savon, all of them, and everybody in the game. You know, this ain't about him getting paid. This is about knowing your worth and paving the way for the people that are coming up next. And I just think it's silly. I understand the Breakfast Club, you know, they have an audience and, you know, they have a target market that they're going for. And that's the stuff that they choose to talk about and how they talk about stuff, you know, that's how they pay their bills. But it's silly. There's just too much division.
Right. I kind of think that, and that's, I literally just got off the phone with my cousin about having a discussion about just Black people infighting so much. Especially, like, it seems like it's something about our community that we love to fight each other. And even in the sense of not to call back to the racial thing we were just talking about, but I mean, literally on social media, you see people, oh, well, this person ain't tweet this, or this person ain't tweet that, or you ain't out here outside marching, or you not doing this, or they protest. Like, everybody has an opinion about what the other person is doing. And at the end of the day, it's like everybody has a part to play. Everybody got a role to play. So quit knocking one person or the next person for not universally doing every single thing. Everybody ain't got to do everything. That's why when you play basketball, it's a point guard, a small forward, a power forward, a center. Like, everybody play a different position, man. So everybody needs to stop worrying about what the next fucking person is doing and play their part. And I feel like that carries over into what we doing, like in the sense of what Envy and Charlamagne and all them is doing. I feel like they probably all are for the same goals, no matter how they're doing it in different ways. And more than likely, Budden and Charlamagne is off the phone with each other after they get on camera and do these rants with each other. So I'm not even going to dignify that portion of it. I understand the entertainment value in confrontation. So,
how about Gilly? How about for Gilly?
Gilly is, man, and this is like listen, bro. I'm a person who, like, you know, I'm a super hip hop nerdy, like, I bought Yeah That's Us, the single, when Major Figures dropped it, bought the album, fucking with the figures, all like I'm a Gilly person. I like Me and I Love the Game. Like, first time I heard Hov say, I'm trying to give a nigga $1 million worth of the game for $9.99 on 444. I said, that's a Gilly line. Like, I love Gilly as a rapper and what he stands for. You know how I'm embedded in the street to some degree. I enjoy guys who have that, who are street and who can say they are what they are. But Gilly out here, a lot of the shit he do is bozo shit, man. I'm just gonna be honest. And a lot of that energy is bozo energy.
I'm not sure how much of you guys are aware of the company that he's with, Barstool, but he has no right to judge Joe Budden for leaving Spotify.
Barstool.
And like, see, like, and Barstool is like one of them companies that, like, they try to be the frat boys.
Gilly had an opinion about it?
Gilly made a whole go to his IG, bro. He was like, come on, Joe Budden, come over here to where I'm at. I can manage you. I mean, talking hella good shit. Go ahead, Chris. Oh, Chris.
This nigga is on he on his podcast promoting New Amsterdam vodka. Nigga, you don't.
Pink Whitney. Yeah.
Man, if you don't
a hockey player's vodka is what he's promoting. That's Whitney, whatever his name is, the hockey player.
Anybody from the hood, you know what Amsterdam do.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, Gilly not drinking no Amsterdam, bro. You sitting on this platform
Especially
taking white folks' money to push this bullshit to our people, and you want to, man, I'm not gonna do that right.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah,
But
man.
Life.
I do feel like I said, I feel like that at first and foremost,
Amsterdam is the white ENJ.
It's right.
It's the
The episode
white
of Joe
ENJ.
Budden's podcast was probably the most important episode of any podcast in podcasting history because he really giving us the game. And there's a commonality in, like, for real, you got to look at the effect that Joe Budden has had on our community. A lot of us met because of Joe Budden's podcast.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like a lot of people are jumping into that realm. Spotify didn't even have like I listen to about 90 podcasts a week because I work the way I work. All because I'm on Spotify all day and they got 100,000 of them, but they didn't have podcasts before Joe Budden came there.
Yeah, it did.
So that says it right there. But they gave Joe Rogan all that goddamn money. That's saying it right there. And I ain't knocking Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan, he's been a pioneer in what he did, and he deserved every dollar he getting. But so does Joe. And if Joe doing something for beyond, because I'm sure whatever they offered Joe, it wasn't no slump bag. They probably offered Joe a nice, amazing bag.
They said
Joe
8
thinking about
figures.
the large picture.
They said 8 figures.
Yeah, like.
So that's like 10 million.
But he knows
That's like 10 million.
Haven't listened
Like,
to Rogan for a while. Where
his
he
word.
the podcast and the idea from it from Opie and Anthony when they did regular radio, but it was the first hang vibe that they did. Patrice, that's my dude though.
Yes, sir.
Patrice was on there all the time, and that was that first kind of vibe where it was no, we're not going to do that planned out scripted shit. It was more of a just come through and we're just going off the cuff with it, and that's where kind of podcasting really started. And for anyone who's listened to Rogan for a while, and I have, he's talked about that very thing. And when he's talked to people about getting into it, he's like, man, don't sign over there. Don't go sign where they're going to tell you what you can do and what you can't do and take control over everything. You know, you need to do it. You can do it on your own. So what Budden is doing now, what the Joe Budden podcast is doing right now, is something that Rogan himself has preached to other people to do. Like, no, you can go your own way. You don't need to be handcuffed. You can go do it and get that money and thrive. And not just for yourself, but put other people on that way too. So, man, like what he's fighting for, man, it's like to put those two against each other is kind of funny to me sometimes, because Rogan's put in the time and he's got a crazy audience he brings with him. So he's cashing out. He's getting old. He's cashing out. He's put in his time. Yeah. But what they fought for, like, he's giving that same message to other people that Budden is speaking right now on these last episodes, and it's straight facts, man. And
I got a question for you, Skeet. So I'm not an avid Joe Rogan listener, but I listen to him on occasion. And my question pretty much is, like, I listen to Joe Rogan because it be on my YouTube. It be on YouTube, and I'm clicking and watch it. Now, apparently, he's giving his audio and video to Spotify. Only the clips will be on YouTube. Do you think his fans are as loyal as the Budden fans and will all just go to Spotify?
Yeah, I think a lot of people. He carries the audience.
His fan base is crazy.
Yeah.
And I'd say maybe
he's built it up organically and he's done it on its own. That's why they will follow him. It's not some paid corporate-ish kind of thing. It's an organic thing, just like JBP is. It's the same kind of thing like that.
Right.
It rolls with them hard. They were there from foundation. They were early, and they've rocked with them through it.
Rogan been around 10 years.
A lot of Rogan's beef that why he's going there and leaving YouTube a lot of the way he is because they were trying to do some of the things that Budden is fighting against that Spotify is doing.
Oh, the ads.
It's very similar, but yeah, I think it'll carry over for sure. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting to see how it's all moving, but I think that and it's funny, even though they're like, he's going to that platform and JBP is leaving that platform, I think their fight is one and the same of quit trying to get control over everything and fighting for creatives to be able to do their thing and do it their way and have that control over it, because once corporate hands get into it, it waters it down and it kills the vibe. And I think they fight. They're coming from the same place on that.
We saw how corporations damn near killed hip hop.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. And we talking about we talked about a lot today. We talked about Chadwick Boseman, we talked about racial injustice, we talked about the Joe Budden podcast, Joe Rogan podcast, and all these things have one commonality, in my opinion, and that's freedom. Like Chadwick Boseman preached freedom. We talk about these racial injustices. We all we want is freedom. We want freedom and justice and just civil living, really, with that. And now we look at the Joe Budden podcast, and it's about creative freedom. Like Joe Budden wants to make his content, get paid for his content and his worth. And I think that's what we all want in life. Man, we all are here as 6 creatives, the Blank Canvas Creators Network, and we want creative freedom. And shout out to Vick, shout out to all y'all, man. We building something special here. There's a lot to come, man. A lot to come.
Yeah, we tired of being free-ish.
You know what I'm saying?
We want our shit. We want our shit back.
100%, man.
Good enough, man. We need that good freedom.
And on the way out, man, let's all just tell you where we can find us. First off, you can find BKC at BKC Network on Instagram and Twitter. Just search in Blank Canvas Creatives Network on Facebook. And
Creatives with a K. Or what's that?
K.
Canvas with a K.
Canvas with a K. That's right. Canvas with a K. And if you just type it in on Facebook, you'll find the group. You can join the group. And shout out to Skeet with the merch. What is that? What's that right there?
That's fire. I like that.
Hey,
Young Blank man out here.
I'm saying, shout out to Damon Wayans.
Yo, I'm telling you, you make triple factor.
We got new flavors coming the way.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. I ain't even peeped that. Yeah, man. But make sure y'all mess with BKC. I'm Juice JVP on Instagram and Twitter. Good in the Hood podcast host, man. Where can they find the rest of y'all?
Hey, Uncle Vick. You can find me on everything at Uncle Van Glorious. And BKC, we in this thing.
You can find me on IG at Crown Museum. It's not really about me. It's just about celebrating Black culture on that thing. I love that. I'm on Twitter at Crown901. Crown is always with a K with me. And shit, I forgot all my other shit. So somebody else go.
That's that Memphis
Pinky
weed.
taught me on Twitter and Instagram. Pinky taught me.
Pinky taught me.
Pinky taught me. I like that. I like that name. I do. I love it.
I mean, that is kind of Kanye related, though. That's kind of gay related.
I like that. When I first seen it, I'm like, ooh, I like that.
Hey, Audra, that sounds like a little Kanye inspiration right there.
Yeah, you know where it comes from, right?
Just saying.
Pre-Trump.
Oh,
That's important.
Yeah, pre-Trump, for sure. And I might as well say it here first, but Uncle Vick Rants is coming soon.
oh,
So,
please, we need
Uncle
some more.
Vick Rants. The visual.
Follow my SoundCloud, Chamberlain 901. My bad.
Go ahead, man.
So anybody
And Memphis weed is tagged.
for advertising for Uncle Vick Rants.
We got Uncle Vick Rants coming soon. Pinky, what you got in store?
While I'm out here, I'm going to try to attempt to edit the audio from the podcast I did with my cousin a couple weeks ago. The Ashland for Change organization that I spoke about last time, we just had our 4th mic arrive. So we're going to get that popping soon, probably within the next 2 weeks or so. We were going to try to use a local studio, but we're going in the basement. So I'll post in the group and keep y'all updated. But yeah, I have a few things coming.
You have
This
our
was a
support.
good talk, man. We went kind of longer than went kind of over time, but this was a good talk.
For sure. We got
Oh, this is always dope.
always dope, man. Always dope, man.
Yeah,
Hopefully
John
good.
Sunshine on the Twitters. Arrogance of Thumbs coming out soon as well.
Oh,
Hey.
We're gonna keep that merch throwing up just to
Hey.
jealous
Yeah,
and
get that merch going. I want one of them shirts.
get it around the team.
That's fire. I like that. I'm actually sitting down, working, talking to some people about a couple things as far as, it's some shit coming. 2021.
No, BKC popping, like that's for real.
2021 is gonna be a good year. Like we can have with all the bullshit coming with COVID and they steady killing us off, and we still working, and we still got dope shit coming. Cause I need a nice little chunk of change before the aliens get here. Them motherfuckers on their way.
We looking for
on their way.
Like for real.
For real,
we need. They waiting for the vaccines to come over and eat us, man.
Hopefully, our next conversation isn't so heavy, because I want to have some fun and get childish.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I know we intended on keeping this short and to one topic, but I mean, it's been too much shit going on. We had to have a special.
We didn't even get into Meg and Tory and how these fuckboys is out here co-signing the fuckboy activity, but I'll say that for another conversation.
Man, forget that. We ain't get to the fact that Audra thinks Mariah Carey better than Alicia Keys.
Hey.
He disappeared for a second. I did.
She's not alone. She's not alone, bro.
I do.
Oh, you know what? I got Alicia Keys.
We're gonna see what happens when this Mary J and Mariah battle happen next week.
It is not fair to Mariah, bro. I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
My own mother told me I was getting my ass whooped. So
get your ass whooped, man. It's gonna be so ugly.
You have to get your catalog, but
when that real love come on, oh my god.
Yeah. You gotta put Whitney up against Mary, bro. That's not fair.
That's an ass whooping,
bro. Well, he ain't even.
I ain't saying.
Don't let him get into that Mary features bag. It's gonna be a problem.
Oh my god.
Hey, Pinky, I'll help you out, man.
I gave the list of the songs I'm not using to Tierra, and she was like, "You ain't using these," and I'm like, "Oh shit."
That boy KP about to make Eminem proud.
you make one Christmas song only. Only one Christmas record.
Nah.
That's like catalog.
I already got that in the bag.
Hey, y'all disrespect.
And it's not what you.
You should play.
Send me your list. Let me.
You should play Gigolo out of association.
Wow.
Out of association. Oh man, you play R. Kelly out of association? That's terribly horrible.
Hey, Nick Cannon, Mariah, hey, you should play Gigolo. She gonna need all the help. You're gonna need the Brat and JD.
Man, represent for your biracial queens, girl.
There's a lot of you'll definitely hear you already know. There's gonna be a lot of the Brat.
No.
I ain't gonna be biased though. That's why I said, if he lose this battle, he deserved to lose. If he loses this battle, he deserved to lose.
I don't know, man. There might be some Memphis connections. Chris got a connection to people who love his music, so Chris might have some Mariah Carey fans lined up to come help.
Hey, bro, everybody loves Memphis music, not just me.
Hey, they about to Jay-Z and Beyonce and KP. Y'all gonna work together and get KP out of there, huh?
But man, this how we kick it, man. Hopefully we can do this more next time. Hopefully we can do it more like this next time. More kicking it, more jokes, less death and depression next time around, man. But once again, I'm Juice. Shout out to Connor, shout out to Audra, shout out to Chris, shout out to Vick, shout out to Skeet. We are BKC Network, and we are out of here, man.
Hey.
Peace.